If your dishwasher is not working, I'll show you a real common problem and how you can fix it. This is a KitchenAid dishwasher whirlpool. If your dishwasher is receiving no power, no lights on the user interface panel, it's very probable that the thermal fuse, you'll want to check that. So after you have the front panel removed, this part really comes off quite easily, and the thermal fuse, I have pulled it out, but it sits on the edge of the plastic housing with these two connectors on those spade terminals there. And the thermal fuse is responsible for monitoring the current through the system, and if it gets too high, it'll break to an open circuit, and then everything shuts down. So what happened in my case was the thermal fuse popped, and as a result, everything was turned off. So the thermal fuse will need replaced. The real question is, how do we know if the thermal fuse is working correctly? Well, what you can do is unplug it and remove it, and then on a meter, put it in ohms setting or a continuity check, and I mean it's a fuse, so if it's good, you'll see connection between the two, and this one has no connection. See, it should beep whenever there's connection, and there's not. The other thing that you could do to see if replacing the fuse will bring it back into working condition is to just momentarily jumper together these two contacts. It would simulate as if you had a brand new fuse in there. Now, you don't want to run it like this for a long time because there's no longer the protection of the thermal fuse, but for diagnostic sake, you want to do this so that you can see if the machine will start up and run. Alright, so I'm just going to take this little gator clip jumper and create that connection there. So even though the fuse is bad, it'll just go through the jumper. Now, I don't want to run it for a long time because the jumper wire is a little thinner gauge than this thing, and or than the original wiring, so it probably can't handle rated current 10 amps for very long, but we just want to make sure that everything starts up and then we can unplug it. Alright, well, next thing, just reinstall the control panel and close the door to where you hear the switch click. This way we can plug it in, and since the switch is clicked, it thinks that the door is closed, and it'll go ahead and start everything up. So we'll plug it in and listen for sound. Okay, as soon as we plugged it in, about 5 seconds later, the machine started the washing cycle. So we know that replacing the fuse was the issue. Go ahead, unplug it now. Well, now we know the thermal fuse is the problem, so that's going to be an easy fix. Now, the thermal fuse may not be the problem in every case. There's some other things you just want to look for. One is check the tops of these capacitors. When I first opened this up, this one right here, it's a little shorter. That's not the original capacitor. The original had started to puff up on the top. The gases inside there being released. That's a sign that the capacitor's failing or already has failed. So even though replacing that didn't fix it, and the thermal fuse was the main thing, that could also be causing issues too. So check your capacitors, and then I've had relays stick on different appliances. Sometimes the mechanism in there that swings back and forth gets seized, and you can dislodge it by gently tapping. Well, not just with, sometimes I take the something like the handle of a screwdriver and put it on there, and then kind of giving it a thud. The other thing is to take an external power supply and energize the relay coils, but you want to be careful whenever you're applying voltage onto the board. You could damage it. So if you're not comfortable checking the relays, then that may be something you want to leave for someone else to do, but it is something that I've seen cause issues on other appliances before. You also want to check this handle switch. If the switch is not making connection, then the computer will think that the door's open and it won't let it start. Won't start the washing cycle. So just put the meter into continuity mode or ohms mode, and we just have these two contacts here, and then press the switch, and it looks like we do have good connection, and so that's just something you want to check. Alright, so when you go about replacing this thing, it's a 98 degrees Celsius rated for 10 amps, and you can buy this component for a couple dollars, and you can actually remove it from the plastic housing. So look how the spade terminals have the tabs that are bent, and if you get some pliers and unbend those, you'll be able to remove the thermal fuse from the housing, and you can buy spade connectors very inexpensively and crimp them right onto the leads of the new fuse. Now you could also buy this thing as is, just looking like this, and it usually even comes with the wires. Some people have said that the wires may be crunchy. Maybe there was something wrong with the original installation. Now on my machine, the wires look extremely good, so I don't think there's an issue there, but definitely that's something you want to do, is inspect the quality of the wire. If it feels stiff, or if you notice any cracking in the insulation, you'll want to replace those wires. Like I said, they might come with the fuse itself. If your wires look good, you probably only need to replace the thermal fuse itself.